Hi, I'm Gary Kahler, and this is about the setup of the 2200 series and the 2300 series. The 2200 series is a stud mount system for archtop guitars, and the 2300 series is for the flat mount type of guitars. We'll talk about the features and benefits, as well as the proof of the fit, the form, and the function, and the locking string systems, and the how and why setups are so very important. We have the saddle set, which is a 6-way adjustment saddle set. We have a fine-tuning system, which is for each and every 6 string, which will fine-tune from a half a tone to a full tone. And then we have the actual piece that powers this bridge, and that is the cam. And the cam will have 5 holes in it. It's for left and right, as well as spring adjustment and clutch adjustment. The first thing we'll talk about, however, though, is the locking system. The locking system on this bridge is very important because not only does it allow this to be a tremolo, but it also allows it to be a fixed bridge. At the moment, we're looking at a fixed bridge. Now, the minute I unlock this part, it will become a tremolo. However, I recommend that you keep the bridge locked while you string it up. And when you get it strung up to pitch, and it's up to pitch the way you want it, then unlock it. And that's very simple. Simply put the arm in, back off that screw, and now we have a tremolo unit. A tremolo unit that you can pull up as well as down on. So up and down. You're reeling the string out and pulling the string back. And that's basic. We're reeling the string out, and then it goes back to 0, and then we'll pull back on it to make it tight for all those special effects that you're looking for. So that is about the locking system. Next, we will go to the saddle set. The saddle set is unique in the sense that it has 6-way adjustment. The very first thing, which is so very, very important on this system, is that you unlock this little screw right here. That little 440 is very, very important, and it must be unlocked so that you can move that saddle around, back and forth. Each one of the saddles must be unlocked. And so you go through and you unlock each one of the pivot screws. And there's 6 pivot screws here. The first thing you want to do, of course, is do that unlocking. And then the second thing that is necessary is setting the radius. On the saddle set, the second thing that we must do is set the radius. And by setting the radius, you simply pick the string up with the right hand or left hand, and you can adjust the fork up and down. Now I will show that to you this way. You can see the fork can go up or down. So you can get the exact radius that you want to fit your frets on the fretboard, as well as the exact height that you want that string to be above the fret, so that all 6 strings are absolutely identical above the fret. We do not dictate that radius. You will be able to custom that radius absolutely to your benefit and the feel that you want out of it. So you will adjust each one of these saddles to the radius that you want. That's the very first thing, until you may have a radius that looks something like that. As you can see, it's low on one side, going higher in the middle, low on the other side. That's the first adjustment that we make after unlocking the pivot screw. Then the next thing we would do is to unlock the intonator. The intonator is this little Phillips screw right here. We simply give that a half a turn, and you can see where that's at. A half a turn only, like that. Now what that allows that to do is simply you can put that back put the string back on the roller. And now we can adjust with a straight bladed screwdriver, very small one. You can adjust this back and forth to intonate that. So you got your harmonics absolutely correct and precise. So wherever that needs to be, when you finally find it, it's simple enough. Simply set the string off and tighten that intonation down. Now we have set the height adjustment of the saddle as well as the intonating. Now for the last and final thing that we need to do on the saddle set is to set up the spacing. Now, if we were to measure the spacing here with our caliper, we would find that the spacing is right at 2 inches. And if it's right at 2 inches in a closed position, and that means 2 inches from string center line to string center line, we now can expand that spacing all the way to 2 inches, 200 thousandths. Now, why is that important? It's important because you want to customize the way you want the strings on the frets and on the fingerboard. Here, with the 2 outside E strings, you can perfectly line up this string perfectly with your fingerboard because you can adjust it. You already have the height adjustment for the radius. You've already intonated it. So on each of the 6 strings, now all we need to do is place that string exactly where you want it to be. So if it's in the complete outward position, in what we can call the open position, with more spacing between the strings, it would look something like that. As you can see, we have more space here, 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 and here. Therefore, the spacing at center line, on the string center line, from here to here, is approximately 2 inches, 200 thousandths. If you, again, prefer not to have that greater spacing, it's easy enough to put it in a closed position. And you can see that closed position, which is right at 2 inches from center line to center line. Finally, the final thing that you do with the saddle set then is to lift the string up and tighten the pivot point. You're tightening these 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I caution you again, before you do any work whatsoever on the saddle set, you must first unloosen the screw. If you don't, it will not work correctly, and you could damage the saddle. So finally, we tighten the screws back up, all 6 screws here, and that would be the final setup for the saddle set. So that the strings are exactly where you want them. You have customized it exactly to what you want it to be. And that's the purpose of having a 6-way adjustment patented saddle set.